How's it going? So today I'm going to cover a very common problem with the Tractor Kontrol S2, and the same also applies to the Kontrol S4. The problem with these controllers is the USB ports are very weak, especially over time getting things plugged in, unplugged. So I'm going to demonstrate this issue here real fast before I get to work. So as you can see, this seems to work. Move the platter, track moves, no problem. We're going to hit the play button. Nothing's playing because nothing's plugged in, but the track is playing. You can hit my hot cues. Everything works fine. Alright, I'm going to leave the track playing, and as you notice I have something wedged on the USB cable here, and I'm going to unwedge it, take a look at the meter and the play button. They go blank. No control over my program any longer. There are no lights. So very frustrating problem, especially if you're in the middle of a set and your controller blanks out. What are you going to do? So we're going to wedge that back under here. Alright, looks like we got a little something back. So we're going to hit that message no again. Alright, it didn't freeze. That flashing triangle, we can disregard that. That's just because my computer is not plugged into battery. Alright, so we got control back of our unit. Move the platter. Moves the track. Great. Now, we're going to play with my S4 just so I can demonstrate that this is not a bad cable. Probably get some message on here. We're going to hit no there. My S4 is configured differently, so it's playing audio at the speakers this time. Either way, doesn't matter. You hit the buttons, things work. So that's how it's supposed to operate, obviously. So that being said, we are going to disassemble this unit, and I'm going to show you what the problem is and how to fix it. I don't normally cover disassembly in these videos. If you can't understand how to find the screws and loosen them, you have no business watching these videos. I am sorry. But anyway, all you do is there's a couple screw holes in the bottom, make sure they're all out, and then you just gently lift. I'm doing this with one hand. Gently lift your cover off, and you will see the bottom of the unit. Okay, so what I've done here was I flipped the unit backwards to reveal the ports, and you'll notice there's a separate board here which houses all of the plugs, and most importantly our little USB plug right here. So the problem with this particular unit looks like, see how flimsy that is? So only at certain angles is this making contact with the cable. So eventually this is going to stop working altogether. I don't think we can physically see any broken solder, but when I put these back together I use leaded solder to ensure the best possible connection to it. So I'm going to remove this board to make it easier, because long story short, this guy's coming out. One disassembly note I will make is there's these little diagrams next to each screw. These indicate a nut next to them, and there's other ones like this guy right here that has a screw next to it. This is the difference. The ones that come out of here look like that, and the ones that come out of here look like this. Do not confuse them. One more thing I actually will mention is if you look at the back of this top board here, you'll see that it connects using a bunch of pins. Don't worry about this. What you do is you put your hand right about here and you just gently lift on it until you hear that little snap, and then you should be able to just lift up and weasel these out of here. Again, I'm doing this with one hand. As you can see, I've removed my board from the back here, what you'll have to do before you actually lift it off is remove these knobs, because they'll get stuck in those sockets here, and then you'll have even more damage. And then you'll have to remove this screw right here that holds this cable to the front interface. Okay, so now my board is removed. You'll see I have one remaining connection. Remove it from this side, not that side, because you're going to need to be moving this all sorts of different directions, and you'd hate to cause more damage than you hope to fix. So remove this. At this point, you can move the rest of your controller out of your workspace. You're done with it for the time being. And now we can have a little bit of a closer look at our problem here. So it looks like the back of this is a little wiggly, which wouldn't really concern me too much, but the fact that the entire port is moving is not good. So if I'm moving that down here, of course my phone won't focus in. If you look very closely, you can see that those pins are moving, so it looks like we actually do have a broken solder here. I'll do my best to zoom in on this. Nope, not happening. Okay. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is remove this from the board, because we have a whole pack of replacements. Okay, so our first step to getting this guy out of here is going to be to desolder these. I'm not too concerned about the tip size for the desoldering, but when it comes to actually putting the new guy on, you're going to want to use a very fine tip like I have here. Alright, so our component is off the motherboard. Here's the old one next to the new one. The reason I'm not showing you guys how to do this is I'm not exactly the best role model for desoldering, but I still get by. So we're going to put this guy where this one was and hope this is a better replacement. Okay, so it's a little dirty, but the new piece is soldered in. Okay, so here's our unit. The bottom case is still off. The board is now back installed along with our recently repaired USB port. And I now have Tractor loaded up on my laptop here. The hope is once I plug this in and press the power button that you see that little light show. Alright, that's nice and snug, especially compared to how it was before. So I'm going to press that button and we're going to see what happens. Alright. Alright, the computer is recognizing the Kontrol S2. We're going to say no there. And let's see what we get. Great. Slow to track. Again, it's not going to play because I don't have anything plugged in. But the bar is moving. Again, that exclamation point is because my laptop is plugged in and running off battery. It's going right there. But everything works, and our Kontrol S2 is as good as new. Alright, now I'm going to finish putting it back together, and then I'm going to make sure everything is all good once everything is completely back together. Alright, so now you can see the unit's back up and running. I'm going to have some fun with it. I hope you guys learned something in this video, and if you like what you saw, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching.